Okay, everybody quiet on stage. I love it. Welcome back to the Playhouse. Yani, Moses' story is so long, we had to come and shoot for another. We had to come continue the story the next day.
I'm sorry, man.
I don't know. It's all good. There's so much. There's so much to get out of this conversation. If it will take us a week worth getting, our record is what you call Timothy Kaberia. We've shot him for 23 hours.
Mugash.
He spoke for 23 hours.
Hey, Mugash, shout out, man.
Because he has a photographic memory and he painted a good landscape about what was happening in Kenya. Anyway, Moz, back to you. Where we left this story, we are G21. You've met Kaberere. You've met Jal. Is there anybody else that you met at G21?
Peter Dara. It was my first experience with Peter Dara.
The OG.
The OG. You've got to give it up to Pete, man. Who else did I get to meet at that time? I remember seeing Lena and seeing New Vine, because they were all very highly involved, especially behind the scenes, you know, being the guys who were offering support for G21. But Kaberere is one who definitely stands out for me, because my friendship with Kaberere actually started at G21, because I didn't know Kaberere before that.
And Peter Dara? Peter Dara, now you just know him from the music industry.
Peter Dara, I just knew him from the music industry. Like, I used to play his music at Hope FM. I had bought his album at TuneIn, but I'd never met him. So that was the time now when I also got to see Pete, and I got to see him performing his Jam to a Ball, and guys were very jazzed. Yeah. You know, and I didn't know he was Go's brother. I still did not know he was Go's brother.
That's funny. That's why. For me, it took me a minute. Okay, so G21 again, as we said, was 2000 into 2001. Yeah, we've talked about that here, and you've shared a few of the experiences. Yeah. So let's go now into 2002, because there's something I think significant that happens then. So now when we get into 2000 and into 2002, so now Jugush is working with me, and let me say, you know, Jugush is, let me say, is my ride or die. I mean, we've gone through so much drama together. You know, I'm extremely grateful having Jugush coming on. I mean, please note that he was a student at Daystar University when we connected. And in 2001, we started doing the radio shows together with Oscar. At some point, Oscar leaves, you know, he stops doing the radio show. He felt he wanted to do something different. Yeah. So he just told me one time, I don't think I'll continue with this. You know, I feel I'm done. You know, so I was just left with Jugush. But, you know, which was all good anyway. Because I think Oscar had already played a significant part in my life, especially about helping me get established with the music and help me to appreciate more gospel music, because, man, he was the link for the music from the States, man. You'd not have had what you were even playing on the radio without this guy. No, absolutely not. You know, Alafu, now, please note, what I've not told you is, in 2001, I moved from Kangemi, so I moved away from my boys, and I went to stay with Oscar and Kuku and a lady called Shish in Feather Estate. What? Yeah. So Shish's mom, Shish was one of the dancers in All Over. Yeah. And so Shish's mom had a 4-bedroom house in Feather Estate in an SQ, and so the mom went down to stay in South Africa, and so the house was available. And she said, if you guys want, you guys can take up this house and then you just share the rent. So we split up the rent 4 ways. So Oscar, Kuku, Shish, and I moved into a fully furnished house because the mom had furnished it completely. That was sweet. And it was fantastic, man. Actually, my most formative years in the faith was that 1 year. Because now you're around born again. I mean, you're with your boys, but your boys not apart from Kama. Yes. So in fact, I'm not even seeing Kama now because I've moved away from Kangemi. No, I'm saying, yeah, but in Kangemi, it was only Kama who was saved. It was Kama and his bro Hila. Yeah. So Kama had also influenced his brother Hila to become a believer. Whoa. And now Hila was like a believer on steroids. I mean, he became so passionate about the gospel to date. That is so cool to hear. To date, man. You know, so I moved away from Kangemi and I go to Feather Estate. So basically what has happened, I've moved away from my comfort zone 100%. You know, because now I have gone to a place where the only guys who I know are these 4 individuals whom I'm staying with, and Jugush is in Daystar in Athi River. So maybe I'll get to see Jugush once a week.
Now during the show.
During the show.
But I love what you're saying, because now you're in an environment where it's like growth.
Bro, this was now God stretching me, Bana. See, in 2000 he told me I'm going to take care of you.
Yeah. This was him doing it.
In 2001 was my full experience of growing in the faith.
Dude, can I tell you something very crazy? Your story and my story have such parallel
Called Jao.
Whatever. It has those parallel connections.
Yeah.
Because for me, those formative years was under you.
Oh, wow.
So I as you're talking, like, your story is resonating with me in such a deep way, because I get it. I get what it is that you're saying, and I understand the importance of God separating you and plugging you into this new environment for you, and surrounding you and giving you people to help you grow, before then again shipping you off now to the next stage.
Absolutely, man. Because if I did not go to Feather, my relationship with God would not have been as solid as it is. Because I got to experience and know God from a different level.
You're with young guys who love God, who are not boring.
They're not boring.
I mean, and there's a chick
and we
there
all
as well.
love music.
And
Shish is there. Shish was like our kid. Now Shish is being spoiled because she has 3 dudes who are taking care of her, and who are protecting her.
Yeah.
Okay. So Shish is here. She's being protected by 3 dudes. So she's safe. But then these guys were very fresh to be with, and we were doing life together. So whenever it was missions, these are the same guys I'm going for missions with. We're doing meals together. But that year, the reason I'm saying it was very formative for me was I didn't have cash. And I believe that God needed to make his word very real for me. And God needed to make himself very real to me. So I'm not saying that I got to see God face to face, but my experience with God and the values that I hold to date were shaped at that time, that one year. Because whenever I read the Bible, it became very relevant to me. I'll never forget Deuteronomy chapter 8. Never. I can never forget Deuteronomy chapter 8, man. Because that's where God says that man shall not live on bread alone. Those are the same words that Jesus Christ quoted when when Satan came to tempt him. That man shall not live on bread alone, but every word that proceeds from the mouth of God. So what Moses was doing in Deuteronomy chapter 8 is reminding the children of Israel, guys, this is where our journey came from in the book of from Exodus. And these are the dramas and the challenges that we've gone through. And some of the dramas and the challenges that he highlights was exactly what I was going through. Because he talks about, your shoes never got worn out. Your clothes never got worn out. You never lacked food to eat. So I didn't have brand new clothes. But bro, they never got worn out. I didn't lack food to eat. I didn't lack shelter. And I had God's word with me.
And you didn't have cash, but you had provision.
Bro, I didn't have cash and I was okay. And I didn't have it got to a point where Family FM, I had to reach out to Family FM and be like, can you guys just support me with some cash? And I knew they were going to be apprehensive about it. So I said, just cater for my needs for a month. 7,000 shillings. So they'd give me 7,000 shillings. And my rent was 6 Gs. This is how messed up this is. So my rent was 6 Gs because the house was 24,000. So we're splitting rent 4 ways.
Each guy's paying his 6 Gs,
and I would contribute 5 SOC towards food. For some reason, we used to do food for 2 Gs in a month, and it was enough.
What?
And then the 5 SOC, I guess I never used to tithe that much. I'm sorry. But God met my provisions, exactly what I needed. Like I always had my rent early. That was sorted out. That I was very happy about. Always had the money for the bills for the house. So when it came to fairs, if I needed to go into town or something like that, I'd reach out to my family and my family would come through. And so this is the thing. So I had food sorted out. I had clothes taken care of. I didn't buy new clothes, but my clothes that I had ziko sawa. And I remember Kaberere gave me a pair of shoes. Cabs. He gave me a pair of shoes. I'll never forget. They were Marells, First time I saw Marells, and Marell is a big deal. That's a good brand of shoe. So he gave me some Marells. And at the same time in G21, I got to meet this family, these 3 sisters, who became like solid friends. Ruth, Esther, and her sister Maggie. Now, the sister was out of the country, but Ruth and Esther, we became really tight. They were like, now my ride or die crew beyond Akina Oscar. Because Ruth, for some reason, she would drive from Kitusuru, where she was staying, come all the way to Feather Estate to pick me up with her nice Toyota sports car and carry me and the equipment to the studio and not ask me for anything.
What?
I didn't even have anything to give her in the first place.
Constantly.
Bro, every Saturday faithfully, 12 o'clock, should be in Feather Estate to pick me up, to make sure I'm at Metro FM by 1 p.m.
Hey, hold on, you said Metro, not family.
This is not family at that time. But remember, I met these guys at G21.
Yes, I get.
So at G21, we just hit it off. We became so tight, and we became such good friends that by the time now we were starting the radio show at Metro FM. Now I've gone into 2002.
Tell us about how did you transition? Did you transition out of family?
No.
So Metro was just an extension.
So Metro was an extension.
Okay, how did that happen?
So Njugush went to KBC and basically went and told the guys, this is what we do. We're Kubamba, this is what we do at Family FM, and our show has a good reach towards young people. So he's talking to the head of radio at Metro FM at that time, Greg Mure. And so he shares with Greg about what it is that we do and asks Greg, hey, would you consider giving us airtime on your station? And Greg was very generous, Bana. He gave us 4 hours on a Saturday afternoon, 4 hours. So I have 3 hours, Family FM.
Saturday evening.
And then Saturday afternoon, from 2 to 6 p.m., we have Saturday Jamboree. That's what we called it.
It's crazy.
So, oh man.
And Metro was big.
Metro was like the leading station at that time. It was the biggest station in the country.
What?
It had taken over from Capital FM. And so before our show, there was a giant in the media industry called Tony Msalame. Tony Msalame had a show called Shaky Leggy from 10 a.m. to 2 p.m. So Tony used to be there before. So already the audience is there. And Tony was bad news with radio, Bana.
What?
Like I would enter the studio and the guy is there with his headphones, feeling the music is playing, you know, on Saturday mornings, being rumba, Bana.
And he was a legend. For those who don't know, you're talking about Grace Msalame's father.
Grace Msalame's dad. And he was so good to us, Bana. The guy was so kind, talking to us, showing us the ropes. And remember, Tony is a big deal.
He's a legend.
He's a legend. Like all the gigs, commercials that are coming to KBC at that time,
it's through
especially
him.
for Metro.
Yep.
It's through him because we show like he had the Tuskers and whomever's, this is the show they wanted to be on Shaky Leggy.
Wow.
So after Shaky Leggy, it was Saturday Jamboree.
Man, so you already had a captive audience that you were just transitioning now, and also giving them the gospel.
Giving them the gospel, man. So now when we were at Metro,
but you're also learning. What I'm hearing from your story is you're also learning from legends about the workings of radio.
Absolutely.
So Moz, it's not that you've gone to school for this.
No, I didn't go to school for this, but I learned on the ropes, and I learned from guys who were there, who were so big, who were so great, that these guys they laid a foundation for me. I already learned from them.
That's crazy.
So the interesting thing was, the same time Pinye had a show with Nation FM.
So you're competing against Pinye?
No. So Pinye's show was at night. From 7 p.m.
Yeah.
So there's a time when I used to go to Metro FM from 2 to 6 p.m. Then leave Metro FM, go for DJ Pinye's show, Dance Force with DJ Pinye. From 7 p.m. to 8 p.m. I used to do an hour of gospel music.
Or sometimes he would give you.
Sometimes. It became a regular gig. Pinye, I don't know if you remember, man. So Pinye gave me that regular gig, Dance Force with DJ Pinye, every Saturday, 1 hour, 7 p.m. to 8 p.m. So I used to leave Metro, 6 p.m., Chomoka,
go to Nation FM, do an hour, and then from there dash to Family FM, do the 3 hours. So from 2 p.m. to midnight,
you're on radio.
On radio in 3 different stations.
Dude, for a guy who hasn't gone to school, for a guy who doesn't know, who wasn't per se in the media and radio sector, that was strictly favor.
This is mad favor, man. Mad favor, because I didn't do anything to deserve it.
But it's also cool because DJ Pinye, you had connected with him in the world of the clubs and all of these other things.
And the funny thing is, I did not know Pinye much in the secular space. We didn't interact much until I became a gospel DJ.
Yo.
So 2002 was a very exciting time for us, man, because we did, so here we are. So we have Metro FM, we have Dance Forces with Pinye at Nation FM, we have Family FM that's running over here. So 3 great platforms, very different audiences.
Yep.
Very different audiences listening to us at that time, but very broke guys. Very broke guys.
Metro are paying you?
No.
What?
So remember,
apart from the 7K, you are not getting any more money?
Nothing, man. And it got to a point where the 7K was also cut off. In fact, that's a story. I'll tell you what happened. I don't know if I should mention it.
Yeah.
I mean, it has nothing to do with family, but I don't know if I should mention it. Let me think about it as we continue having this conversation.
Just mention it. Because somebody, again, I say, may be going through it and they need that encouragement. I always say, man, your story is for others, man.
No, this might it might affect guys in a different way, so let me not talk about it.
Okay, sir, cool.
Yeah, I think people might look at it from a different perspective. Okay,
no problem.
Yeah,
okay,
so the thing is, we're extremely broke, Bana, but always provided for. There's a time when Jugu should come from Daystar, knowing Mazi. There's one show when Jugu came from Deo and was like, Moz will have some money for lunch. And I got to the studio, I was like, Jugu will have some money for lunch. So we're both broke. And then when we got to the studio, I'm like, dude, can we go for lunch? He's like, man, I only have 10 bob. I had 0.
Guy.
And we have a show for 4 hours that needs to rock in a studio that has no AC in the basement, because that's where the studio for Metro FM that time was underground. So it was I remember when we went to the studio for that show, man, there was no energy because we were both hungry, man. And we need to make sure that we give guys a good show.
Yeah.
So we had no energy. And Mbuvi, out of the blue, calls and he says, Moz, uko happy? That time we had phones. He's like, Moz, uko happy? I'm like, hey, niko kwa studio, man. Niko Metro. Niko njiani na kam. Nimepatiwa kitu nikulete. So Mbuvi comes with 2 liters of freshly squeezed mango juice, cold as ice.
You were like, thank you, God, man.
Oh, bro. Mbuvi. Akimazi, asante sana bana.
Yeah.
And at that time, when Mbuvi came to bring us the juices, he was like, have you guys had anything to eat? We're like, no. He went to the canteen and then bought us meat pies.
Yeah.
Bro, the energy levels for that show switched
went up
immediately. Immediately.
That's so cool.
Immediately, man.
So what would you say was the experience for you being at Metro?
Oh man, being at Metro was,
because this is different. This is now secular as compared to you playing gospel on a gospel show.
Bro, this is a secular station.
Yes.
It's the leading FM station at that time. So numbers, they're countrywide. Guys are listening to us from all over. Students are calling us and saying, "Hatunaskiza kutoka kwa Kapalito." So Family FM was in some pockets.
Yes.
They were like in Kisumu, I think Coastal and Nairobi. I mean, this station gave us a nationwide platform. And let me say thanks to Greg Bure, because you didn't know us, but you trusted us and you opened up the doors for us. And thank you very much, Greg, deeply appreciate it. So the provisions that I got to see from God during that time we were at Metro were amazing, man. The days we wouldn't have transport to even take the equipment, because now Ruth would take me to the station.
Going home.
But there's some days when she had to, because they own a guest house.
Yes.
So she was the one who was managing the guest house. And so Ruth and her sister, there are days that she will not be there to be able to take me to the next station. Of course,
yeah.
And also it would not have been nice for her to travel at night, going back to Kitusuru. So there's one time when we didn't have transport completely. Transport is down. And I'm like, we finished the show at 6 p.m. I need to go to Dance Force for 7 o'clock, and this equipment needs to get to to NSSF building
yes.
to Family FM for the show to happen. And then the guys of Prisons were at KBC that day recording, the whole choir. So we told them, hey, listen, man, we just finished the show here. We need to get to NSSF. We don't have transport. It's raining outside. Please, can you help us? They're like, yeah, bana, kujeni. All our gear, everything. First, they dropped me off at Nation Center. Then they took Jugush to NSSF to set up.
That's
for the
crazy.
Show. It's amazing how God provided for us. But one of the key person who was very significant for me is Victor Mbuvi.
Why do you say so?
Because Mbuvi opened up a cyber. I didn't know Mbuvi before, but I knew
Is it the one next to Laundry House?
Yes, I knew his partner in crime,
RK.
Because RK, we had already started a relationship before. So RK opened a studio, and Mbuvi opened a cyber house, a cyber cafe right next to each other. Actually, there was a door that connected both the studio and the cyber, and these guys were very tight. And Shama at that time was also growing, and they had become they were the biggest group at that time. So through Mbuvi Cyber, the amount of gospel singles we downloaded.
Because now, actually, that's a huge point that you've just mentioned. The internet is now beginning to become, you no longer need access to Stato.
No.
It's now gospelflavor.com.
Now it's gospelflavor.com and other websites that Kuku. So Kuku is a web guru.
Yes.
Like he's a software guy.
Yeah.
And so Kuku and I live in the same house, but then he's also working at Victor's Cyber. Kuku's developing websites, making websites for guys.
Yep.
But then his love for passion for music is huge, and he knows my sound. So Kuku would go ahead and download like songs. I don't even know how long it used to take him to download one song because the speeds were terrible.
I can imagine. Dude, in fact, just side note, just to give you a relevance of the speed, the first video I ever uploaded onto YouTube was a bass featuring Pam. No, a Pam featuring a bass.
Pam.
Papa Pam from Sema.
Yeah.
She gave me her song. I think it was called Nimechoka. It took me 8 hours
to
upload. I think it was like about 150 MBs. I remember I did it at Mavuno, and I was doing this from midnight to 8 a.m.
And this is Mavuno days. Mavuno is like after.
And this is after.
This is after.
Yeah.
So this I'm talking about 2001, 2002.
Yeah.
So the speeds were really, really low.
Yeah.
And those are the days when you'd go to a cyber and they charge you like 5 bob a minute.
Yeah.
It was bad, Okay. But anyway.
That's crazy.
Victor was so gracious. Like I could go browse and not have to pay. The days we didn't have food and Victor would go yani and buy fries.
Yeah.
In fact, that cyber basically existed. Thank you very much, Victor Mbuvi. That cyber probably existed to support guys in the gospel music industry, man. And
it's so funny, in different stories I've heard about that cyber, of people going to that cyber. That's when I said Laundry House.
It was in Queensway House, which is just next to Laundry House. Yeah. That's where the cyber was. So that cyber was very, very significant.
Just hold on. Rain, we're doing the interview. So what did you want?